1. Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola is one of the most famous brands in the world, but its past isn't as sweet as its drinks. During World War II, when the U.S. restricted Coca-Cola syrup to Nazi Germany, the company's German branch created Fanta to keep production running. Executives inside Germany maintained close ties with the regime, ensuring that Coca-Cola's presence never disappeared from the German market. After the war, the U.S. headquarters reabsorbed the German operation quietly, and for decades, this part of the company's history was rarely mentioned. Rumors have long suggested Coca-Cola's leadership went to extraordinary lengths to protect its brand, even during wartime. What's undeniable is that while others left, Coca-Cola found a way to stay. 2. Nestlé. Nestlé is one of the world's largest food corporations, but its history is marked by controversy. In the 1970s and 80s, Nestlé launched aggressive marketing campaigns for infant formula in developing countries. The company implied it was healthier than breastfeeding, often without warning mothers that they needed clean water to prepare it safely. The result was a devastating health crisis among infants in several nations. Global boycotts erupted, forcing the company to revise some practices, but many critics argue its approach never fundamentally changed. In more recent years, Nestlé has faced outrage over its control of water resources, allegations of child labor in supply chains, and lobbying efforts to block stricter regulations. Some conspiracy theories go as far as accusing Nestlé of seeking control over essential resources to secure long-term dominance. 3. Chiquita Brands, United Fruit Company. The story of Chiquita, formerly the United Fruit Company, is a striking example of how corporations can shape nations. In the early 20th century, United Fruit controlled vast banana plantations across Central America, but its influence extended far beyond fruit. It owned ports, railways, and even had politicians on its payroll. In 1954, when Guatemala's government tried to reclaim land, the company lobbied the U.S. government, and a CIA-backed coup followed, overthrowing the elected president. Later, as Chiquita, the company admitted to paying Colombian paramilitary groups, which were designated as terrorists, to protect its operations. To many, this wasn't just business, it was a shadow empire. The term banana republic exists largely because of United Fruit's reach and how it blurred the line between government and corporation. 4. Shell. Shell has a carefully crafted public image of energy and progress, but its track record is clouded by controversy. The company has been repeatedly accused of making secret deals with authoritarian regimes, including its cooperation with apartheid-era South Africa. In Nigeria, Shell became notorious for its role in the Niger Delta crisis, where decades of oil spills and alleged collaboration with military forces left communities devastated. Internal documents and whistleblowers have suggested Shell provided funding to local forces who violently suppressed environmental protests. Human rights groups have accused the company of prioritizing profit over lives. Some claim Shell's global lobbying network quietly influences energy policy in multiple countries to this day. 5. DuPont. DuPont helped shape the modern chemical industry, and it also hid some of its biggest dangers. For decades, DuPont manufactured Teflon and PFAS chemicals while quietly collecting evidence that they were harmful. Internal research showed links to birth defects, organ damage, and cancer, but none of that reached the public. Communities living near DuPont plants reported alarming health issues, while the company dismissed concerns. Years later, lawsuits and leaks revealed the full story, resulting in huge settlements and lasting distrust. Environmental activists say DuPont's lobbying power allowed it to delay regulation for decades. To many critics, it's a textbook case of a company protecting profit at the expense of public health. 6. Uber. Uber changed how the world moves. But its early years were less about innovation and more about quiet warfare. Leaked Uber files in 2022 exposed how the company grew rapidly by skirting laws, using aggressive political lobbying, and even deploying a secret kill switch to block regulators from accessing company data during raids. Uber's leadership deliberately pushed into cities where it was illegal, counting on public demand to overwhelm authorities. Behind the scenes, the company cultivated relationships with powerful politicians to shield itself from consequences. The revelations painted Uber as a company that didn't just disrupt the taxi industry, it outplayed governments to rewrite the rules in its favor. 7. Johnson & Johnson. For decades, Johnson & Johnson was marketed as a wholesome family brand. But inside the company, executives knew their talc-based baby powders sometimes contained trace amounts of asbestos. Instead of pulling products or warning the public, the company managed the risk quietly, confident it wouldn't surface. Eventually, lawsuits revealed internal documents showing executives were aware of potential dangers for decades. Thousands of victims came forward, and billions were spent on settlements. Whispers of a long-running corporate cover-up turned what was once a trusted brand into one of the most heavily scrutinized companies in the world. 8. Monsanto. Monsanto is one of the most infamous corporations in history, and not without reason. During the Vietnam War, the company was a key producer of Agent Orange, a chemical that caused widespread environmental and human devastation. In later decades, Monsanto became a powerhouse in genetically modified crops, patenting seeds, and aggressively defending those patents against farmers. Critics accused the company of trying to control the world's food supply, and several lawsuits uncovered its efforts to keep internal studies and research out of public view. Activists claim Monsanto used lobbying networks and legal pressure to silence opposition. For many, it became the ultimate symbol of a secretive, unstoppable corporate machine. Every one of these companies has a past that's far more complicated than their polished public image. Power, influence, and secrets often go hand in hand, and history has a way of hiding in plain sight. Which of these stories surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this journey, hit subscribe for more lost histories, strange facts, and stories that make you say, "Oh, that's interesting."